Mingalaba and welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Still in the world of coronavirus pandemic, up to 177 people quarantined at a monastery in South Dagon. Myanmar Computer Federation's activities in the containment of COVID-19. Ministry of Commerce to take legal action against price speculators. And a story coverage on work from home digital revolution for Myanmar MSMEs. All of that on this edition of Myanmar Today, but for now let's take a look at what's happening in local news. State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi posted the following message on her Facebook page to the people as to how they should pass this year's Thinjan. She wrote, "Sunday was the 14th day after we found the first coronavirus-infected person in Myanmar. Within 2 to 3 weeks, it will become apparent how fast the spreading rate of this virus is going to be. At this time, it is very important for all to follow the rules and instructions to deter the spread of this disease." She said, "We'll have to experience a kind of Thinjan that we've never experienced before, a Thinjan where we will have to totally avoid crowds. Some will imagine how many persons make a crowd. The fewer, the better. The farther, the better. You should remember that one more infected person means one more danger. There is no such thing as being over-vigilant and over-cautious. Don't be disheartened because you cannot go out and celebrate during this Thinjan, neither will there be loud music and merriment in the wards." She also wrote, "They say that health is the greatest of blessings. We can all make this great donation with goodwill, whereby we can all give the greatest of health blessings not only to ourselves but to others as well. By controlling ourselves, we can develop the power of concentration. In this very special Thinjan, we can perform very special good deeds, and we can do this at home." The United Nations World Food Programme has successfully obtained access and delivered food to people affected by ongoing armed conflict in Sami town of Balawat Township in Chin State, according to the regional office of the WFP. WFP also plans to ensure the provision of nutritious blended food to help children and mothers facing malnutrition. WFP has also been trying to reach communities affected in Balawat town and will continue to explore all options so that they can also be reached with life-saving aid. For the past few months, many people in Balawat Township, which is located on the border with Rakhine and Chin states, have been living with food shortages and price hikes. The intensified fighting has resulted in trade and supply routes being cut off and fresh displacement of people as families are forced to flee, leaving their homes, land, and livelihood behind. Funded entirely on voluntary contributions, WFP is currently delivering emergency food aid to people affected by conflict and facing high food insecurity. This includes 270,000 people in Rakhine State, 47,000 people in Kachin State, and 15,000 in Shan State. The Ministry of Education and UNESCO collaborated on the Strengthening Pre-Service Teacher Education in Myanmar project and will upgrade the 2-year diploma courses in education colleges to 4-year course. The Ministry of Education strives for the education of the highest quality and developed the National Education Strategic Plan 2016 to 2021 after conducting sound research and producing 2 inclusive education reports, and it adheres to the 12 priority tasks promised to the public. The Ministry of Education works hard to ensure there is no discrimination, no one is left behind in education, and uniting people for peaceful coexistence, valuing different unique cultures through encouraging learning, reading, playing, and coexisting together. The ministry ensures the education system teaches students and all relevant persons accountability and responsibility. Priority Task 1 focused on early childhood care and education, and 80,658 preschool children of 3,115 preschools were taught by 4,571 teachers in the 2019 to 2020 academic year. Union Minister for the Ministry of Education, Dr. Myo Tengji, said the number of students reached 5 million in the 70 years between 1921 to 1988 and has now reached 9.7 million, meaning there was a 5 million increase in the 30 years between 1988 to now. He said schools still need support with more teachers, classrooms, desks and chairs, and libraries for school development. That's all with the local news. Let's take a look at the first report now. The government is preparing for a potentially large outbreak and has put different levels of quarantine as hospital quarantine from community quarantine. Currently, over 600 suspected and people under investigation. Cases are contained at about 160 hospitals across the country. One of the makeshift quarantine stations containing 177 people, including 12 monks, is the Tirigongwe Monastery in South Dagon Township. Pyotiritu and Yenai will tell us more.
The total number of confirmed cases for coronavirus has exceeded 1 million and more than 55,000 death cases globally till the first week of April. Myanmar has tested over 1,000 people and has confirmed over 20 cases with one death for COVID-19. The government is preparing for a potentially large outbreak and has put different levels of quarantine as hospital quarantine from community quarantine. Currently, over 600 suspected and people under investigation PUI cases are contained at about 160 hospitals across the country. At the same time, for another 650 PUI cases, some monasteries and schools have become the stations for quarantining people and healthcare providers. Most of the makeshift quarantine stations are prepared for Myanmar nationals who are returning by flights from foreign countries hit badly by the corona pandemic. One of the makeshift quarantine stations is Tirigongwe Monastery in the commuted South Township. Utainai, Lotto representative, the commuted South Constituency 2 said.
Here we are containing 177 people, including 12 monks, who had returned from foreign countries hit by coronavirus, as Germany, Denmark, Singapore, and Thailand, and so on. We established this station starting from the morning of 25th March. The residents near the quarantine stations don't need to get into a panic, as we are controlling the processes from the safe distance from us and the residents. Here, the outside area and the inside area are separately divided. The regional government officers, police force, and firefighters and some social workers are staying at the outside area. The first level of the inside area are being managed by Red Cross workers. The healthcare providers are closely serving these people under investigation with adequate quarantine facilities, and the volunteers are closely guarding their daily routine in the closest level of inside area. There are 177 quarantined people and over 200 people as social workers at the monastery. The Regional Committee for Controlling COVID-19 is taking responsible for this food and drink. We are accepting many donations from the public, and we also allow delivering the food and meals from the families of these quarantined people.
Doe Danato, a health officer, is providing healthcare services to the people under investigation in close at Tirigongwe Monastery. Doe Danato, health officer, Leidongkan Healthcare Center said.
We take
the people's temperature twice a day. At the same time, we are keeping them under surveillance, whether they cough, have high fever, or are fatigued. We cautiously record all the reports of their health conditions and submit them to respective health centers. If we find out any similar symptoms, we immediately inform the regional health stations. As soon as we have known the first confirmed case in Myanmar, we all the healthcare providers have prepared for fighting this battle because we have to walk in the front line for this. For me, I have sent my only daughter to my hometown already. Of course, we are so afraid of the infection as our healthcare providers are also human beings. We target to defend the battle with the least suffering with all of our effort.
The Regional Youth Affairs Committee is also voluntarily participated in serving the PUI quarantine measures. Mae Toshin, volunteer team leader, said.
I am a member of Yangon Regional Youth Affairs Committee. Here we have 6 volunteers. We are serving the daily routine for these people under investigation with 2 assignments. Every day, we render assistance to health officers when they are doing the healthcare processes. And we are taking responsibilities for arranging 3 meals a day in time and cleansing the garbage from them. Then we spray every single room and the whole monastery compound with pesticides. I want to tell people not to be afraid of being put into quarantine for 14 days. It is not terrific, and it is aimed at being totally convenient, safe, and secure. If someone returns from a foreign country at this time, it is not sure that your surrounding is acceptable for you, but you should stay quarantined for 14 days. By doing so, you can save your family, your surrounding, and your country from harm.
This is news reporting from MR Radio. I am Pyodiridu.
That's a report on 177 people quarantined at a monastery in South Dagon. All right, we'll carry on with the next report. With the policies of the Myanmar government and the leadership of the Ministry of Transport and Communications, the collaboration of Myanmar Computer Federation, Myanmar Computer Professional Association, and Myanmar Computer Industry Association will be undertaking activities regarding the ICT part of the COVID-19's issues in the form of Technology Task Force. David Tanner has the details.
With the announcement of COVID-19 as a pandemic issued by the World Health Organization, WHO, the Myanmar President Office confirmed that a directive released not to organize any events, ceremony, celebration, etc. starting from 13 March until 30th April. With that said, with the policy of Myanmar government under the leadership of the Ministry of Transport and Communications, Myanmar Computer Federation MCF, in partnership with Myanmar Computer Professional Association MCPA and Myanmar Computer Industry Association MCIA, will be doing activities regarding the ICT part of the COVID-19 crisis. We will hear out the details from Dr. Tun Turata, Vice President of MCF.
We will be forming a technology task force which we will be helping to the vital groups of people which are in need of technology support. For instance, the university students who might currently be doing e-learning. Regarding it, we will have also negotiated with the major telecommunications company in the country to reduce the price floor of the mobile data usage, and it has been confirmed by Post and Telecommunications Department on 1st April 2020 that 4 major telecommunications company has been reduced to a certain level. But we will not stop trying to negotiate more relating to the reduction or even free, if possible, for the usage of video conferencing and online collaboration apps for the students.
We will also find out the activities of crowdfunding relating to the issue from Dr. Tundurata as well.
As we will also be organizing an online crowdfunding platform. Before doing it, we have made discussions on how we should make a risk analysis to make sure what kind of places are in need and the risk factor of it to provide more information on the donor for where he or she donated. The crowdfunding will not only focus local donors but also the international donors. For example, Myanmar from across the world that want to put funds. There will also be micro donations which is not related to the crowdfunding process, but there will be one for people who want to donate in everything they can, even if maybe a small amount of fund or really anything. We will mostly depend on the technology while doing this, but it should be well informed to the public before we take actions.
As social media platforms such as Facebook and Viber also play an important role on how people react on the issues, MCF General Secretary Wu Taung-Sunye told MR Radio on how MCF and the Tech Force will be collaborating with some of the major social media platforms relating to the COVID-19 issues.
Facebook နဲ့ Viber တို့ကအခုမြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာလူသုံးအများဆုံးလူမှုကွန်ရက်ကြီးတွေဖြစ်ပါတယ်
As Facebook and Viber are the major social media platforms in Myanmar, we will be working on news and media pages which provide legal and legit news source to have verifying profiles like blue badges on Facebook. We will also be working on taking actions against news outlet which provides fake news relating to serious COVID-19 issues. We will also collaborate with those social media platforms to populate the legal and legit news source on people who want update news.
crowdfunding platform တစ်ခုကိုထူထောင်ဖို့အတွက်ကိုစီစဉ်ဆောင်ရွက်တဲ့ရှိကြောင်းတင်ပြလိုပါတယ်
U Tao Su-Nye will also provide us with the information on the technology-related projects they will be doing regarding with the issues.
COVID-19 ကာကွယ်ရေးနဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့ဗဟုသုတတွေ
We will be creating a COVID-19 portal in which people can conveniently inspect latest news, information, and other related statistics. We will post general knowledge on how to prevent the virus on the web portal as well regularly and update it as the times goes by. We will be creating a chat box relating to preventive measures of COVID-19, and lastly, we will anticipate and prepare necessary tools and software for the support of COVID-19 prevention in Myanmar.
COVID-19 ကာကွယ်ရေးနဲ့အခြားအုပ်ချုပ်ရေးလုပ်ငန်းစဉ်များအတွက်လိုအပ်လာမယ့်နည်းပညာများကိုလည်းဖော်ထုတ်သွားပြီးတော့ကြိုတင်ပြင်ဆင်ထားမည်လို့တင်ပြလိုပါတယ်
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on Myanmar Computer Federation's activities in the containment of COVID-19. All right, let's have a look at the currency rates now from Myanmar Central Bank and the stock exchange. $1 is at 1,405 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 198 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,517 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,723 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 979 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 322 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 42 kyats and the Indian rupee is at 18 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,617. Silver is at $14 and Brent crude oil is at $27. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI is at 9,800. MTSH is at 3,450. MCB went up 100 and it's at 8,100. FPB dropped 500 and it's at 21,000. TMH went up 50 and it's at 2,750. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. The Ministry of Commerce and Basic Foodstuffs Supply Associations are establishing a plan to take legal action against the retailers and wholesalers who are taking advantage of COVID-19 to sell the commodities and medicines at a higher price than normal. The investigations will start mid of April. Pyo Tiritu has more.
As the consequence of panic buying in the wake of COVID-19, some merchants and retailers are selling basic consumer goods and medicine kits with much more expensive price than normal price. To control the price speculations and stabilize the local market, the Ministry of Commerce is going to take a legal action against the merchants and retailers who play the price manipulation. According to Uzaya So, who is the Deputy Director General of Department of Consumer Affairs, the Ministry of Commerce has held the assembly to control the price manipulation and stabilize the local markets. The assembly was attended by the responsible person of Myanmar Rice Federation, Myanmar Onion, Garlic, and Culinary Crops and Production Exporters Association, Kitchenware Supplier Association, Myanmar Edible Oil Dealers Association, Myanmar Chamber of Commerce for Pharmaceutical and Medical Devices, and Myanmar Highway Freight Transportation Service Association at the Ministry of Commerce. Uzaya So, Deputy Director General, Department of Consumer Affairs, Ministry of Commerce, said.
Maximum price index
Today, we have collected the maximum price index of some goods, including basic foodstuffs, medicines, and medical supplies from the wholesale associations. When we got the maximum price index for that, we will have a ruler to measure the price of goods selling in the market. We will know if the goods are expensive and how much beyond the wholesale level. If we are informed of any merchants or retailers who are selling the goods beyond our maximum price index, we are going to take the legal action against them including the whole country. The consumers can complain to our department or the respective police department with the documents. We will check and take the legal action against them. The investigation teams will keep the markets and wholesalers under surveillance. Until the additional order announcement, we are going to take this process. Normally, as our country is introducing the market economy, we dare to control the market. But for the consideration of the consumers to buy the basic foodstuffs and medicines at the fair price, we're going to take this action.
According to Essential Supplies and Services Law 2012, the retailers or wholesalers who are selling the goods than the normal price can be taken legal action with 6 months to 3 years imprisonment, together fewer than 50,000 kyats. Within a week, the maximum price index for the basic foodstuff such as rice, wine, onions, garlic, and medical supplies will be set, and the action will be taken around the middle of April. U Nelinsin, Joint General Secretary, Myanmar Rights Federation said.
ထုတ်ပြန်ပြီးသွားရင်တော့ဒီထုတ်ပြန်ချက်ကိုဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီရောင်းဝယ်နေတဲ့လူတွေအားလုံးကလိုက်နာမှုတာဝန်ရှိတယ်
As we know, a bag of rice normally costs about 58,000 kyats, but during these days, the price rises to 70,000 to 80,000 kyats for a rice bag. So we have calculated the maximum and minimum range of profit, transportations and others, and give this range to Ministry of Commerce. As our Myanmar Rights Federation, we are going to announce the maximum price index for each and every type of rice in the market. The taking legal action will keep on other respective government departments. What I want to suggest to the retailers and wholesalers, the consumers are our benefactors. We should not use COVID-19 as an opportunity to take our consumers.
Ko Myo Winton, who is a shopkeeper from Golden Family Retail Shop, said.
I am selling groceries. The demand for consumer goods, especially rice, oil, and onion, is really high currently. I am not raising the price of those basic things, but the price of some imported foodstuff like canned fish and instant noodles, rice. We also buy these things with higher price than before, but even these stuffs only 100 to 200 kyats rice. The retailers should take the reasonable profit for the foodstuffs. If the government take the legal action against price speculators, it will be a good sign for the consumers and also the retailers.
This is news reporting from Amma Radio. I am Pyodiritu.
Well, let's move on to the last report before we go to international news. Impact Hub Yangon has hosted its very first online webinar to discuss the topic of how to work from home efficiently. As the severity of COVID-19 situation is getting higher, the discussion provided professional advice on work from home concept. David Henner has more.
Work from home is a concept where the employee can do his or her job from home. Work from home gives a flexible working hour to the employee as well as the job for the employer is done with ease. Work from home is helpful to delivering work-life balance to the employee and also parallelly helps the company to get the work done. As the issues of the COVID-19 has been impacting on the system of going office now, work from home concept seems to be a mandatory system as of for now. With that said, Ko Yemya Mir, CEO of Next Labs, will share us some tips and applications to make work from home concept doable.
I usually use Facebook Workplace to connect through Workplace for my company staff members. I had used Slack before, which is one of the more mainstream apps for these kind of stuffs. But as we work with more members, the subscription plan of Slack becomes too much for us. And as for the Facebook Workplace, the advantage over Slack is that it is way more simplified and people who can use Facebook and Messenger apps don't even need to learn the basics of it. Moreover, I also use Google Hangouts to communicate and send personal information. I also use an app called Todoist to pin down the basic tasks for my team. The last tool that I have been using regularly right now will be Miro, because it can be a really handy app when we want to do a meeting, and it can be used as a flowchart app as well, like a whiteboard.
As we suddenly change into work from home concept, most of the people might feel the nature of not in a work mood or even serious while they are working. Mahani Myawin also shared us the tips that she used to make her feel the work environment.
One of the things that we need to consider is asking our environment to understand that you are working at home. For me, I'm trying to negotiate with my family members to let me work in my pace. Even though it might be hard for a lot of people to consider this method, we should at least try it right. Although we may have to fake it till we make it, what we should consider is to make us feel comfortable with our surroundings. I also try to have this mindset of making an office hour to just focus on the work that I'm doing. I think physical exercise is important as well, like stretching and doing indoor workout might also help us to focus more and to be fresh to work. With that said, we get more comfortable as the time passes and becomes a routine.
Even though work from home as a concept seems to be a strange thing to consider in Myanmar, it is one of the concepts that has been adopted for some time in developed countries. With its nature of work from home bringing its merits to the mass, Ko Ye Myamin also tells us his perspective regarding the advantages of working from home.
The work from home မှာကောင်းတဲ့အချက်တွေရှိတယ်။ခုနပြောလို့မျိုးကျွန်တော်တို့ meeting ကို
As the technology is thriving, we should really make advantage out of it. For example, we can have a productive meeting through online now with all the apps that I have mentioned, because now you have complete control of your schedule, except only if your supervisor schedules for you to work on precisely as an office hour. But it's still way more flexible compared to an office work time. We could also cut out a lot of unproductive meetings, and other time wasters that are ubiquitous in an office environment. Therefore, I would also like to recommend everyone to take some of the benefits regarding the work from home office and implement in as a permanent workflow.
For the employers, it's crucial to be on hand to support users and help them adapt to an entirely new working environment. It's inevitable there will be some connectivity issues and some minor problems, so be well equipped to resolve common problems. Encourage remote users to take dedicated breaks as they would in the workplace, helping them adjust to the new work conditions and make well-scheduled systems, and ultimately can help working from home a really good experience. Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
And that's all we have for today's reports, and it's probably time to check on some international news here on Myanmar Today. The coronavirus outbreak has hit the world hard. Along with the alarming infection rates comes a colossal need for medical supplies. In this dire moment, China has provided assistance to 120 affected countries and 4 international organizations. Thousands of factories in China urgently resumed production to make desperately needed test kits, masks, and protective gear. To meet global needs, the country is churning out over 100 million masks every day, a 5-fold increase from before the outbreak. However, China's goodwill has been maliciously interpreted by some as an exercise in mask diplomacy. The AFP news agency asserted China is trying to paint itself as a good Samaritan while deflecting criticism over its initial missteps in handling the coronavirus.
What do we want? PPE! What do we need? Now!
We need 15,000 ventilators, and we need them right away.
What we're seeing now in Italy is that they lack ventilators, and doctors are in this crazy position of deciding who to ventilate and who not to ventilate.
For the second day in a row, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has been thanking Chinese actors for their part in helping to battle COVID-19 in the state. He was particularly grateful for a donation from China of 1,000 ventilators and other much-needed personal protection equipment. He thanked Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets basketball team and a co-founder of Alibaba by name, also Jack Ma, a co-founder of Alibaba and the Chinese Consul General to New York. In his new conference, their names and others appeared alongside Andrew Cuomo as he was keen to point out that the Chinese government in Beijing facilitate the donation.
I want to thank Joe Tsai and Clara Tsai and Jack Ma from Alibaba. That's going to be very helpful, and I want to thank Ambassador Wang very much for his help in making all of this happen, because this is a big deal, and it's going to make a significant difference for us.
Two very good friends of mine brought him those ventilators, right? Two very good friends of mine, they brought them. If you'd like their name, I'll give you their name.
But should states
No, but the governor didn't mention that. It came through the Chinese, the country of China. But they were given by two friends of mine.
The U.S. naval commander, whose widely publicized plea for help for his coronavirus-affected crew led to his dismissal, has been reportedly tested positive himself for the disease. Captain Brett Crozier's COVID-19 test result was reported Sunday by the New York Times, just hours after U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper defended the captain's firing. Esper told ABC that Navy Secretary Thomas Modly had made a tough call, in deciding to fire Crozier from his command of the aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt, now docked in Guam. The firing was widely condemned as a callous and unfair punishment of a respected officer who was looking out for the welfare of his crew, and when he implored his superiors to let him quickly vacate the ship after it docked in Guam. Crozier had sent a letter detailing the COVID-19 threat on his ship and pleading for help from the leadership. That letter was later leaked to news media.
Today, at my direction, the commanding officer of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, Captain Brett Crozier, was relieved of command by Carrier Strike Group Commander Rear Admiral Stuart Baker. The executive officer, Captain Dan Keeler, has assumed command temporarily until such time as Rear Admiral Select Carlos Sardiello arrives in Guam to assume command. In my judgment, relieving of him of command was in the best interest of the United States Navy and the nation.
In what is less of a comforting news, a tiger at the Bronx Zoo in New York City has tested positive for the new coronavirus in what is believed to be the first known infection in an animal in the U.S. or a tiger anywhere, federal officials and the zoo said Sunday. The zoo said the 4-year-old Malayan tiger named Nadia and 6 other tigers and lions that have also fallen ill are believed to have been infected by a zoo employee who wasn't yet showing symptoms. The first animal started showing symptoms March 27th, and all are doing well and expected to recover, which has been closed to the public since March 16th amid the surging coronavirus outbreak in New York. Well, I hope that tiger recovers quick and everyone else in the world who's suffering from this wicked disease. Have faith and stay strong. And that's all we have today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone. Stay home, stay safe, practice good personal hygiene, and follow instructions strictly, and always be on high alert for important news. I'll see you again. Goodbye.